Welcome to another full day of plant care. As you know, the list is endless and I always find new stuff to put on there. I also got a few packages with exciting stuff in there. While we do the plant care, I also want to answer some questions that you guys have so kindly sent into the community tab for me to answer. Starting with the first task that includes this little package right here. Let me get ready. Much better, it's so hot here. Now, in this box, I have a few beneficiaries. I went online and got a few different ones because it is almost summer and you know what that means? Pests. Might it be thrips, spider mites or fungus gnats. It's hot, it's sometimes humid, sometimes you have very dry air and oftentimes you can't do anything about it. Except maybe if you start a pre-treatment to not let it happen. I have 1 or 2 plants with spider mites at the moment and I have a few fungus gnats flying around here. I went all out and bought beneficiaries for almost 100 euros from Nützling24.de. It's a German website. I ordered from them many times already, so I know they have live stock. For spider mites specifically, this is the Phytoselius persimilis and the Amblesius californicus. Also got the Hippoaspis miles. This works well against fungus gnats and thrips. I don't have any thrips yet, but I also don't want any in the future. So I got the Amblesius cucumeris. So these are the 4 beneficiaries I'll be using all throughout my collection. Most of the beneficiaries are shipped on some sort of substrate. Oftentimes they come on bean leaves in such a little bag. Let's start with my grow shelf and also with the first question, which is from Tara Scanlon, and she asks if you could only keep 3 plants out of all of the ones you have. Which would they be and why? I can already show you the first. 100% the Alocasia Frydeks. All of my Alocasia Frydeks, I don't know, it's velvety, it has gorgeous white variegation, the foliage has such a special shape, I just love these plants. I'm just going to take a few sprinkles of the substrate and put it all over the plants basically. And for good measure, we are also going to put a few of the bean leaves on here. Same thing up here. And then a sprinkle of predatory mites. You know, I hate playing favorites, but if I had to choose, I would want to also pick a trailing plant. And I think I would choose my Philodendron micans. It's also velvety, it has a little bit more of a dark brown reddish color. It grows well, I can propagate it easily, so I guess that would be my second pick. Now, for my third favorite plant, I would probably have to go with the Phyllanthus mirabilis, a potato. You know I love potatoes and, well, this is a really cool one. Let me explain. I refer to Cortex plants as potatoes just because they look like potatoes. So much so that I did a few sketches on them in my early Instagram career. Here you go. Welcome ladies and gentlemen, I'm your news anchor Christina and you are watching Potato News. Our guest potato, the Stephania recta, has finally grown in size. Leading experts have made a forecast about this one going through the roof.
Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna know.
They're gonna know.
How would they know? How would they know? I can't. I can't.
I also had a few spider mite issues in my little planter box, so I will heavily use the predatory mites here. I just go around and do this for all of my plants. Ta-da! First one down. Next up we have moss poles, or better said lazy poles. I never been a fan of moss poles because they dry out too quickly, and my hopes with this is that it stays moist longer. Let's pick another question first. Kelly Myers asks, what is the best way to leave your plants for 2 weeks? Paula 420 asks how to take care of plants when you go somewhere on holiday, and do you think it's okay to water your plants when you feel the pot is lightweight, or do you water them weekly? Let's first put these together. Going on vacation with a big houseplant collection is not easy, especially if you have expensive or rare plants. I know. The last time I went on a long vacation, I did the following. All of my small plants and propagations I put into those giant plastic bins. These keep in the humidity and they pretty much don't need to be watered, so all of the small plants or medium-sized plants can be stored in those boxes. I had to ask my neighbor if she would come and water the plants at least like once a week. But to make it easier for her, I bought big trays that you can fill with water, and I just put all of my bigger size plants in these trays. This way the plants would only need to be bottom watered and it wouldn't be as much work for her. But on the topic of going on vacation, I know the pain and I wish I had a plant sitting service. I know there are some apps or communities that offer this service, at least in Canada or America, but here I haven't really found anything comparable, so I will try this year to offer a plant sitting service for vacations here in my area, and maybe I get to know a few more cool plant people from around here. To answer the second part of the question, I think it is even better to water your plants when the pot is not as heavy anymore. If you do it on a set schedule, depending on the conditions outside or inside your home, it is going to vary, so I think you're better off doing it the way you do it. Now, these are 3 giant moss poles done, but I'm still missing the moss, and that is where the second package comes in really handy. As you know, I have partnered with Botanica on their soil mixes before, but today I thought I'd show you their sphagnum moss, because as a plant parent, sphagnum moss is a very integral part of the plant hobby. Today I want to focus on the sphagnum moss and just show you the quality of it and try it out with you today. These are the plants of the day. This is my Monstera Esqueleto, or better said, my Monstera no ID. I got this plant in a trade as a Monstera epipremnoides or Esqueleto, and in their immature form you can't really tell if it's just a regular Adansonii or a Esqueleto. The Esqueleto has huge, giant, beautiful leaves. To make sure I truly own an epipremnoides, I will have to grow it on a pole. That's what we're going to do today. Somewhat like this. First, let's get them all out of soil. The next question is from Mara Larkin, and she asked, what is something about the plant community that you dislike? For the most part, the plant community is really nice. Oh my god, look at this. The plant already attached to the pot. It's like on there. Shit. Okay, that's some nice roots. As I was saying, for the most part, the plant community is super nice and welcoming, I feel like. But maybe sometimes it's a little bit too gatekeepy. Is it enough to have 5 plants, or do you need to have all of the unicorn plants? Because prices can get really crazy. Collecting houseplants often is just a very expensive hobby, and if you don't have the money to support that, you basically cannot take part in it. At least that's how it sometimes looks. I don't think it is like that. This is plant number 1. The sphagnum moss is still a little moist, so you don't need to re-wet it. You can instantly use it, which is pretty nice. Oh, it's so soft and fluffy. Just look at this. Oh, it's perfect. Look at how fluffy it is. I never had sphagnum moss that fluffy in my life. Oh, that is so cool. Plop it in from the top, and I'm pressing it to the bottom really, really lightly, so I can just fill it up gradually as the plant grows. Using some plant velcro to pin the plant to the moss pole. Ta-da! Gorgeous. Now for the second one, we are going to put 2 plants in because we're crazy today. Now for this one, I want to use 2 plants. I'm going to use the aeroid mix from Cybotanica for this as well. So all Cybotanica today. This is a nice chunky mix. I'm just going to use this. Let's see. Yeah, I think so. I think that's all right. We can manage. I want to make it really, really full. Always think about Sydney Plant Guy and his beautiful plants. What would Sydney Plant Guy do, aka Jan? By the way, I got another question from Flowey FX, and they're asking, have you ever used science to come up with a way to recover a dying plant? I think the closest to that would be a hydrogen peroxide treatment. I mean, everything is science if you want to. Just using plastic prop boxes or humidity boxes to stop dying plants from losing a lot of water through transpiration. For example, if you have fresh cuttings or if you have plants that lost all of their roots due to root rot, for example. But that's about it. That's about all of the science I have done. I'm not using any plant hormones. Even though I work in a biology lab, I am not using science for my plants. Let's get to the sphagnum moss and let's start filling it up. This reminds me of another question from Daniela Medina. She asked about my full-time job because YouTube still isn't my full-time job. I work in a biology lab, as I said, and we mostly work on individual antibody treatments for cancer. I think that's about what I can say. So everything we work on obviously is a secret because it is research and we don't want any other labs stealing our ideas and results. And my field is biochemistry, so I work with proteins, I do a lot of Western blots, a lot of cell culture as well, maybe a little more of the moss. Another really exciting thing about my job is I recently, like as of 2 weeks ago, went part-time. So I am working 4 days a week in my full-time job, and then I have 1 additional day for my YouTube stuff and my plant sales stuff. It is Friday today. I have the house to myself and I can film and do plant stuff all day long while my fiance is at work. I think in my last Q&A, which is a while back, I even said that this would be my goal to maybe someday go part-time on YouTube and blah blah blah. So it's kind of exciting to be hitting the goal just like a year later. Okay. Oh, I'm so glad I finally did this because they really have to attach and I just kept postponing it because I love procrastination. So here we are, done. Boo, 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 boo. Let's check out the list and what is up next. I am so slow today. I only did 2 things. Okay, next up we have a whole lot of this, and this. Ta-da! Yeah, now I need to clear this off again. Why am I always doing this? And then I just have to put everything away. My motto is work harder, not smarter. Starting with the white princess here, you can already see she's not well supported. I just have a few little sticks in here and that's it. Let's also continue with the next question. This one is from Natasha Bahn Hansen and she's asking, how do you find spaces for all of your plants in a tiny apartment whilst giving them good lighting conditions without spending a fortune on grow lights and electricity? And the simple answer to that is, unfortunately, I don't. Ooh, okay. I don't think this is possible. Quite honestly, this sounds like a prompt for ChatGPT. You will need some additional lighting. I don't think I could keep plants any other way. I have a lot of grow lights. Any sort of grow lights, doesn't have to be the hyped up expensive ones. I'm really sorry, Natasha, but I don't think I can help you with that. I once calculated the electricity that I'm using monthly. It is a price that I am willing to spend on my hobby. And then you didn't calculate the water and all of the other stuff. Plants are not cheap, man. The root system here is okay. I don't see anything rotten. For this philodendron, I'm going to use the aroid mix from Cybotanica. I love the soil mixes. They have proven to be really good to my plants. And they have different types of substrate for almost any type of plant. So they have Hoya mix, Anthurium mix, aroid mix, ficus mix, Maranta mix, all the different kind of plants you can think of, they probably have it. So if you're not big on mixing your own soil, I'll leave a link down in the description, and I also have a code for 10% off. And even though you might think, oh, this must be super expensive, I did the math and it's not much more expensive than if I would mix my own soil. And you definitely save on time, storage space, and effort. Let's give it a little bigger support. A little bit more plant velcro. Perfect. Number 1 is done. Great. Next plant is this Maranta Varchevici. This Maranta, to no one's surprise, is a to say the least. Yeah, I don't know. I cut her back already multiple times. Maybe just try again. While I do that, Wanda Shaw is asking, hi, I wanted to know if you have any orchids in your collection, and if so, what are they? And if not, would you consider adding any to your collection? So in fact, I have 3 orchids. One I bought for the foliage. It's a beautiful Femma. And then I have one that I took as a cutting from my mother-in-law. A dendrobium, probably. I don't know what it is. Maybe you can help me out. Leave it in the comments if you know what this plant is. And then I got a rescue orchid from my boyfriend's office. He just brought it one day. It has white flowers and I don't know what it is. Probably Phalaenopsis. Let me know. The soil looks a little bit like there's some sort of fungus in there. I will try to remove all of it. You see how white the soil is? It smells like fungi. A perfect candidate for a hydrogen peroxide solution treatment. And this I'm going to trash. All done. I cleaned it off as best as I could. Now I'm going to give it a smaller pot. I didn't order any Maranta mix, unfortunately. Do the old spaghetti trick. Still ugly, but at least it has a new chance at life. It is lunchtime. I have a few leftovers. Coconut milk curry. And it's delicious. I think I can power through a few more questions. Creepy Gallery asked, if you could invent any cosmetic mutation for a houseplant, what would it be? For example, metallic gold variegation. I think the metallic gold is a nice touch because we have a lot of silver variegation or silver splashes, but we don't really have golden splashes. See-through leaves would be kind of cool. There is this butterfly that has see-through wings and this looks really cool. I don't know if it would be biologically possible, but I mean the white variegation also doesn't have any chlorophyll. Strong Power, thank you, asks, what are in your opinion the most overrated and underrated plants? How do you feel about insane prices for some plants? I've seen plants going for more than 1,000 euros. I can never justify prices like that. Looking forward to the Q&A. My most overrated plant is by far the Pink Princess. I bought this years ago and I wanted the pink variegation, and the only plants that were available at the time were B-grade variegation plants. I only paid 50 euros, but honestly, that is too much money. The plant grows like shit. Yeah, I'm not going to take that back. It grows like shit. It always has stuck leaves. The variegation on my first 3 plants all faded and went away, and I tried propagating it, getting it back, nothing. I tried growing it out. Now I have a little bit of variegation back. These plants are a nightmare. Maybe if you have a more mature plant, it's better. Other than that, my most expensive plant is the Alocasia Frydek. I got it a year back maybe for 400 euros. But for this one, it was absolutely worth it. Not gonna lie. I love this plant and I would do it again. Joseph Toe asks, I was wondering if you have ever experienced variegation revert on plants. And also I was wondering if you have ever tried methods to increase the variegation. And most of the times I found that giving it more light or less light didn't do anything because the variegation is there. Maybe you can see it better. So I think the only option to get more variegation out of a plant or get better variegation out of a plant is propagating it. At least if you don't want to try chemical mutagens or radiation, then a good old propagation will be your friend. Yum. I'm done eating. Thank you for your patience. Next question and also next task on the list is this terrarium. So now I want to give you an update because Daniela Medina also asked what happened with the terrarium you built months ago. Is it still alive? What did you learn? I made a terrarium but it got a lot of algae. I also have a little bit of algae maybe. On the update I put 3 plants in here. I have a asparagus fern and you see it's doing great, baby. It's coming out of the top. I have to cut it down constantly. Then I have a Fittonia in here that is also exploding in size. It's almost taken over all of the terrarium. I probably should cut it back a little bit. And then I had the Selaginella here in the back. Didn't make it. Rotted away and died. I don't know why. Just died. I replaced it with some moss from the aquarium store. Seems to be doing just fine. I don't really water this because it's closed most of the time, so it stays moist really long. And I can see a ton of roots down here. So let's just trim down this baby because that is actually on my to-do list as well. I just chop off whatever I feel like is in the way. And that's quite a bit here. Okay. You guys were also asking a lot about the Anthurium Crystallinum propagations. So here they are. Almost all of them already popped a new leaves. These were all stem propagations with some roots attached. We have a few that are slower, but I already see a new growth point, so I think we're pretty good. The top cutting I recently potted into soil because the roots were going crazy. So overall, I think it was a full success. Next propagation I get a lot of questions about is the Alocasia stem propagation. And this one is going crazy. And then the even bigger success is the stump of the Frydek mother plant. That is even prettier than my other little Frydek propagation. Just like this half moon action. Are you kidding me? That's gorgeous. Let's start with the green Alocasia mycolithiana and check out those roots. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Root system number 1. And number 2. This one is a little behind. And then we got this puppy. Really long roots and a leaf. And then for the Frydek here, you can see that it is a side shoot and I can probably separate it from the mother plant. So I want to check that. I can just snap it off, I think. Oh yeah. Also has some nice roots already. Ooh, amazing root system on this plant and beautiful variegation. That is to die for. 3 more babies coming, so I'll just keep it in here. Okay, mother plant goes back and I hope she's okay with the transfer into soil. We will see how they all react. I'm trying to cover up all of the roots, but I'm not trying to cover up the stem completely to prevent rot. Ta-da! Perfect. Look at those babies. I'll just water them, give them a little shower, rinse everything so the soil can settle, and then I hope they will continue growing just fine. So let's cross off another task from the list. I know I didn't answer all of the questions. There were a lot of questions about houseplant sales and the plant market. I want to collect all of them and then put them into another more plant shop related video and answer them there. They will not be forgotten, I promise. With that said, I'll see you next time. Until then, enjoy your plants and goodbye. And obviously I didn't manage to get everything from my list done, but that's just how it goes. You know the struggle.